Chuck, you sick freak. Why do you want a giant robot that shoots glue at the X-Men? This is not a real thing that you have to prepare them for when they're fighting villains in the outside world. So I'm thinking, this is a you problem.
Where down the menu going, play? Work out instinct of humanity. Transform, X-Men, reporting scene in time. Transform, mutants, systems is final death. Now we're X-Men.
Hello, Flat Scads, and welcome to the X-Men. We are the next stage in human evolution. Two trans women exploring the X-Men, and my name is Beth.
I'm Seanny.
You trying to match my level of energy?
I've realized I do the same little, I'm Seanny, every time. And I'm like, I don't want that to become my thing. You know, I want to spice it up a little bit each time.
It's cute, but you're going to have to get on my level tonight because I am bonkers.
Well, I'm very sensible, so I'm going to have to do some work.
Oh, no. I feel like I'm going to get in trouble.
Well, yeah, you watch yourself. What have you been up to?
Well, a bit of promoting our album that came out. That's, who knows when this episode's coming out, but our album's out, Outside You'd Love Me to Death. It's awesome. You'll love it. And around that, I've been booking some cool little shows for us. But I say little, I mean actually quite a big deal. So, you know, not to be every local band ever, but big things coming soon. But aside from that, yeah, I've been just so busy heading into the end of years between working on Lizzie's projects. We got some new merch coming with a really cool logo that Seanny designed. Mm-hmm. Just like the Barbies we are. We're a couple of real-life Barbie dolls.
I was trying to sing a song from the Barbie movie, but I've forgotten all of them.
Push by Matchbox 20.
That's the right one. Oh, when that movie was coming out, Baby Shower prepared a cover of Push. Like, it was like the weekend after the movie came out. It was very of the time, and the gig got cancelled.
Baby Shower always pulls out a cover. And I had been wanting to cover Stars Are Blind for so long, and then I'm open up my Instagram feed, and there is Baby Shower covering Paris Hilton.
Shall we? Which is a shame, because we know if anyone's the bigger Paris Hilton fan, it's Beth.
Gimmick infringement. No, I loved it. This will happen before the episode is out, but tomorrow night, as of recording, Hormones is playing a show with not one, not two, but three, like, crust punk power violence bands.
Yeah.
We're playing with Jalang, Crystal Pistol, and Sacred, and it's going to be so brutal, and we're going to be over here just like tee-hee-hee. We played it with really hardcore lineups before, and it's always a great time, and Hormones somehow really fits the vibe, so it's going to be cool.
But see, I love that, because whoever booked this gig was like, these three bands, absolutely. Hormones, of course, naturally, get them in there.
I feel like I'm just going to keep rattling off stuff I'm doing, so...
Well, why don't you tell me about what you're wearing?
Oh, fit check! I told you, I'm a bit scattered today, end of year, and I'm spinning a lot of plates, including my own brain. So today I am wearing, drumroll, a little shirt under a dress.
That's revolutionary.
The Beth signature, and you know what? We're crushing it. You've seen the little shirt before. Maybe you haven't seen the dress, but...
I don't think so.
We live and learn. Here we are. And to accessorize, obviously, an icy cold Diet Coke, a little fridge cigarette after a big day. What are you wearing, Seanny?
I love that you're embracing the fridge cigarette. Let's face it, it is getting hot here. And so I'm wearing one of my favorites, Blink-182 with a skull on it singlets. And what I love about this is excessive sleeve cutout, which is really good for, like, if I'm going to mosh at a show, just like the heat distribution is beautiful, which is lucky because I'm probably going to wear it to a metal gig that I'm going to tomorrow night.
But not my heavy gig tomorrow night?
Well, where's your gig tomorrow night?
It's at the Last Chance.
Oh, would you believe it? That's where I'm going.
What? You didn't tell me you were coming to my
Surprise!
show.
Girl,
Oh,
girl,
no. I'm going to cry on the pod.
Girl, I've had this ticket since you announced the show.
Oh my God. Okay.
I was like, if it comes up naturally, I'm not going to lie. But if Beth doesn't ask about it, then it's just going to be a fun little surprise for the pod.
Oh, now I'm even more excited for the show. Okay, we got to do dinner before the show. We will coordinate it.
You know it. You know
I always want to eat some food at the last chance.
Me too. They got a killer menu.
They got a killer menu. I'm really hoping all this serious bra action you're giving us isn't going to get us demonetized. But you know what?
Oh no.
No, I'm kidding. It's not even like a free the nipple situation. It's free the container of the nipples.
That's free the nipple container.
That's it. That sounds like the best 70s UK punk band that never was, the Nipple Containers.
Container. I love it. Their first two albums were great, but when they switched up the singer in the third one, I dropped off.
Started going a bit too new wave. We hate it.
Yeah, it happened to everyone.
Seanny, do you like the X-Men?
I am very fond of the X-Men. Would you like to talk about the X-Men with me?
I would really like to talk about the X-Men because I feel like we haven't even really touched on the subject outside of the intro yet.
No. Let's do it.
But we've read 2 issues this week. We have X-Men 109 and 110. Very cute. We have the first, I guess, original storyline by Chris Claremont and John Byrne, because when John Byrne debuted last issue, he was finishing off Cockrum's storyline. And then we have a filler issue that was prepared and kind of pulled out because the thing with Dave Cockrum on art, and we love Dave Cockrum, is that he was kind of notoriously slow. So they had a few fill-in issues, in the drawer ready to pull out. And this one's actually written by Chris Claremont. But when we come to discuss it, we'll see why it doesn't really make sense to fit in where it does. I'm looking forward to talking about that.
Interesting. Okay.
But I had a lot of fun with 109 as well. So I think it makes sense to start at the first issue of the 2 that we're talking about because I can count.
I've always said that's a thing I admire about you.
My ability to count.
Oh, yeah.
My ability to know that Rihanna has 32 top 10 singles and 14 number ones.
I knew when you dropped that fact on me last night, I'm like, Bet's busting this out for the pod.
It was just in the middle of a conversation that had nothing to do with any of it.
Oh my God, this is going to be the whole episode, isn't it?
In X-Men 109, this is the synopsis. Wow. In X-Men 109, Wolverine is wanted dead or alive. Our issue opens with the X-Men returning home after their adventures in space, and it feels good to be back. Or does it? It's back to the lives they left behind as Storm returns to the attic to water her plants. Jean has to finally address how she has changed with her parents. Scott has brooding to do about whether he can talk to Jean about how she has changed. And Nightcrawler, of course, has a date. While Jean speaks to her parents outside and tries to explain everything that has happened to her over the recent months, Scott watches from the living room, ruminating on his own problems. Kurt enters to remind him that even though their lives are full of hardship, it does no good to tear yourself up when the world has shafted you. You'll not only destroy yourself, but those who love you. Kurt always making me cry every minute of every day.
He always knows what to say, especially to Scott.
He is the main character of the X-Men for a reason.
That's why he's an extended up when we get there.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Banshee, Moira, Aurora, and Colossus all depart for a picnic by the lake. Wolverine tags along for some hunting in the woods, although he clarifies that he does not kill. Marvel want their readers to know that he does not kill. And it is a good thing for his character that he doesn't kill animals. People, Fang,
Still MIA.
In the woods, Wolverine is closing in on a doe when he is attacked by Weapon Alpha. Who is Weapon Alpha? A ghost from Logan's past in the Canadian government and a former friend, James MacDonald Hudson. Now possessing powers of strength, flight, and energy blasts from his battlesuit, the ultimate product of Canadian technology, they do battle in the woods until they come back across our heroes enjoying their picnic, who quickly join the fray. A power blast from Weapon Alpha reflects off Colossus and hits Moira in the head, sending Sean into a wild rage. Knowing that his power suit would not withstand Banshee at full blast, Weapon Alpha retreats, but not before informing the X-Men that we haven't seen the last of him. Well, actually, I think this might be a thought balloon, but not before thinking to himself that they haven't seen the last of him, and that he will be returning eventually with Alpha Flight. Wolverine tells his friends that this is just the beginning, and from here on, things are just going to get worse. Canada is coming for our boy.
Captain Canada is here to take him home.
Oh my god, the maple leaf on the suit.
Oh, so good. I loved that. Because he's in like the shadows when we first see him, and when he's revealed with that big glorious maple leaf on his suit, mwah.
How did he ever do stealth in the woods? Really great cover on this issue. I like that it shows exactly who's involved in the battle. It does a really good job of making Weapon Alpha seem like a much bigger threat than he really is.
Yes, very much so.
None of the X-Men are just kind of like standing around in a clump here. Everybody's doing something interesting. We have Wolverine, in Weapon Alpha's hand. We've got Banshee chasing from behind, looking panicked. We got a lot going on. I don't know. It's just a really great cover. And I think when you have a great cover, it entices you to want to read the issues, which is something that is a bit hit and miss on some of these issues. So it's good to really acknowledge it when it pops up. But if we open the page and actually get into the issue, we are greeted straight up with a lovely splash page of the X-Men in their civilian clothes. Now,
we love any time this happens.
As we know, John Byrne is a big stupid idiot. But I really like a lot of his artwork.
Yeah.
And this is I don't want to be a separate the art from the artist person, but the literal art here is very nice.
It's and you say, though, if we can compliment him, we just have to also dunk on him every single time to keep the balance.
Absolutely. As we're coming into the mansion, we see Peter in his sweater vest, Scott and his signature turtleneck. We see Logan tearing open his cowboy clothes because he has Fang's uniform still on underneath, and he's got to get out of these alien threads before he starts climbing walls. And Storm's in her uniform because of course she is.
Sometimes she just likes to hang out in it. It's fabulous. I'd want to as well.
Nightcrawler 2, outside of the image inducer, have we ever seen Nightcrawler wear something different?
No, and I keep thinking, I'm like, where does his body end and his costume start? Because it all sort of blends in together. So half the time I'm like, is he just getting around nude?
Girl, are you angling to see him shirtless?
Wouldn't say no.
Well, I'm sure there's some pages from David Cockrum's private sketchbooks for that.
Oh my God.
This is a family-friendly pod. We're not talking about Dave Cockrum's private sketchbooks.
Don't go looking for them.
Do not Google that, especially if you are under 18. Do not Google that. Well, have you got it up for me?
Yes, I'm going to tack on to the civvy chat of it all because we have some great, if very 70s civilian team fits in the opening panel from walking old man yells at cloud bigot John Byrne. So I know Beth and I actually have some disagreements on this one.
Oh, it's got to be about Moira, isn't it?
Moira in her brown pinstripe pants and vest with dark green checkered jacket on top. I am a big sucker for a femme in a tailored suit. Like your Vera Farmigas, your Dana Scullys. Moira is giving me this right now, but I will concede she has got to lose that big red clown tie.
The tie is what's killing the whole fit for me. Couple of buttons popped would be very stylish.
Exactly. You don't even need it there.
It looks like she's just come from the big top. It's
It
like
is
she's
giving a little bit of circus.
standing there with the ringmaster trumpet being like, step right up, see my friends the freaks.
I do love that she was still like, I'm putting this jacket on, which is a loud jacket. And she's like, not loud enough. Big red tie.
Oh my God.
She's dating Banshee, and he's pretty loud a lot of the time, I have to imagine.
He does live for a collar, and he is always wearing that collar under his civilian clothes most of the time. I feel like we're really just going through the issue here because straight after we come into the mansion, we see the X-Men's bedrooms. Everyone has
Yes.
their own room in the mansion, and they're all tailored to their personalities. Firstly, we see Storm's, which is full of plants, and she uses her powers to water them and then bathes in the rain that she creates.
I love this. I love that she has the room in the mansion that's the big attic with the big sun windows. Like, I just imagine they've all had a chat. They're like, so what do you look for in a room? Storm's like, can't be too claustrophobic, need big windows. Charles has got, literally got exactly the place for you upstairs.
It's this stuff that I really love about the X-Men because, you know, not a lot of superhero comic writers probably have thought, okay, if these guys all live together, how do they live together? Like, what do their rooms look like? What's the layout of the mansion? Where are the blueprints? Where's the armory in the dining room? And I think that's really nice.
So nice.
Kurt's room is full of movie posters.
Yes.
And he's Errol Flynn's all over his walls.
He's got a big Captain Blood poster that I want.
He's got the gymnastic frame that he can hang upside down from.
So good.
And he teleports from his room down to Peter's, which has maps of Russia on the wall, pictures of his family, and his little desk where our sensitive boy is writing letters back home. He's so homesick.
He's trying to write letters. What does he write? He starts writing to his parents. He's like, sorry, I haven't written in a long time. I was busy saving the universe.
I am willing to concede that I have been a little hard on Peter in previous episodes. He is a sensitive, nice boy. I can't put all the baggage of how badly he's going to be written by other writers. But if we take this as he is right now, he's a real sweetheart. I want to just take a minute to talk about Storm. I like that they're trying to develop her as like adjusting to life in America. Now, there's definitely like some awkward stuff here going on around like stereotyping her as being from Africa and not understanding American customs and stuff. But the way I'm trying to look at it is like being specific to her personality as coming from being this goddess as like when we first met her. So she's like, I don't understand the need for these human clothes. And she's like bathing in the rain with the plants. And the scene, like this scene of her nude in the attic room with just her hair covering her up, it seems like an image that should be really like objectifying.
Yes.
But it doesn't come off that way to me at all. And I think it just adds to what makes Storm so interesting. Again, when you look at it for like, this is how two white guys in New York in the 70s interpret the entire continent of Africa. Bit problematic.
Yeah.
But for what it means for her character and her presentation, and that these things that just make her feel bigger than the X-Men, I like it.
I completely agree with that sentiment too, because you really do see the just joy on her face. It doesn't feel like a sexual moment. It feels like her expressing herself and letting go. And I think it's just really nicely captured.
Speaking of the face, I feel like that's something that I really want to talk about with John Byrne, the Big Stupid Idiots artwork. He is so great at faces.
It's really good.
That each one of these X-Men now, like, doesn't just have generic superhero face one. Not that Dave Cockrum was like that, but they feel really distinct and feel like real people.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, each person looks like a person you could meet on the street. I feel like Jean Peter and Sean are all real standouts to me, with the way they look and the way he draws them. And
Absolutely.
I love this really kind face that he gives Aurora. The way that their faces look really like reflect, again, the way we're supposed to interpret those characters. So he's a big stupid idiot, but he's talented. What's your next one?
Scott is having a little poopy pants time watching his girlfriend through the window come out to her parents, and Kurt, our boy, the main character of the X-Men, is here for him yet again, relating to him on a level that only these two can. The ones who can't seamlessly blend into the rest of the world without using technology. He's got the line, "I learned very early on that I must either accept who I am or go mad. And though I am now occasionally crazy, I'm not insane."
Oh.
And Kurt is always at the forefront of just radical self-acceptance. And this sentiment resonates with me so much because I think, like, but before I transitioned, I was always trying to be like this perfect amalgamation of what a person should be. And sometimes I legitimately felt insane because I was constantly wrestling with the two sides of, what was logical versus what actually made me feel like myself. Like, what makes me happy doesn't have to make sense as long as I'm being honest with myself and not hurting anybody. Also, I'm going to be loopy sometimes, but, that's just my personality.
Real.
Beth has written a song called Transgender Menace for her band Hormones, and the line, "If this is being sick, I don't want to be well," has legitimately become a mantra for me whenever those doubts start creeping back. And I know it's not a one-to-one comparison of what Kurt and Scott are talking about, but just like Kurt's sentiment behind this just like really shines for me in that way.
I got really deep in my feelings through a lot of this stuff and about the Jean stuff particularly. But speaking on this Kurt scene, the fact that Kurt is so firm with Scott, he's giving him this tough love that Kurt's like, "Look at me, I've been blue and furry my whole life, and you just need to stop beating yourself up."
Yeah.
And when Nightcrawler first teleports into the room, and I'm going to feel a bit bad for saying Nightcrawler instead of Kurt here.
But I know why.
Yeah, Scott says, "Oh, hi, Nightcrawler," or whatever. And Kurt says, "I have a name." Then at the end of this conversation, Kurt is worrying that he's been too hard on Scott because Kurt's the heart of the X-Men. Like, he is the most human of them. He's the most compassionate of them.
Yes.
And he's so beautiful. It's at the end of this conversation that Banshee enters. Scott starts to call him Banshee, stops himself, and corrects himself to saying Sean.
Oh, I love
and
it.
He says, "Kurt's just given me a lot of things to think about," and walks away smiling. It's a really beautiful scene.
That is just like, what an incredible way to end a scene that didn't just end with, the characters talking at each other and agreeing. You just get like a little example moment that Kurt has gotten through to him. It's so beautiful. I really loved that.
It's just great writing and
Brilliant.
It's those kinds of things that Claremont does well. But I need to get back to Jean because I really got emotional in this scene where Jean has to explain to her parents that she's changed. And because it's something that we have this parallel, we could make it a parallel to a queer person coming out. Scott says about Jean's parents, they look scared stiff, though they're hiding it well. And I think this speaks very truly in my experience with people, when you come out to them on the surface, that they try to present like they're okay with it and they say they're supporting you, but you can tell internally they're still reconciling it.
Yeah.
And, like they are trying, but, you just feel like this guilt that, like, even though there shouldn't be any guilt attached to it, that I have to make this person accept this thing about me that they don't really understand. So having to read and watch Jean having to explain that she's become this different person when her parents weren't looking. It's just, I gotta stop before I start crying on the pod again.
Oh, girl, no, I think that's it. And how, like, gosh, I didn't. 2 moments of like queer acceptance and identity playing out literally in parallel with each other.
My favorite issues of X-Men are when they are just hanging out around the mansion and you see these character moments and they're having like little arguments with each other or like consoling each other. You get to see the different rooms of the mansion.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that in another comic would happen between panels. Here is dedicated to half an issue. Half this issue, or maybe even 2/3 of this issue, is this stuff, and the action is not like 8 pages? It's hardly anything.
So I accidentally skipped over my first up, but the up was basically just about this entire sentiment because we have 10 pages that are nothing but our X-Men talking to each other and having cute character moments. And there's only 17 pages in the whole thing. And this is the exact ratio I love in these sort of stories. It's like 3/4 of it is just the character stuff, hanging out. And then the last quarter at the end, they get to punch a bad guy and it looks really cool.
I am first and foremost a romance novel girly, and I'm here for the melodrama. And this stuff is where it happens. A good scene where we see this kind of happening is the scene that should have happened in the last issue, this little flashback to how they left the M-Crown crystal and made it back to Earth. Jean knowing that Corsair is Scott's dad, but not being able to tell him because Christopher has requested that she doesn't. Here for the drama. Corsair says he's glad that Jean loves Scott, but he wishes he loved Scott less so it wouldn't hurt him so much that he had to leave. And then there's this really great quote from Storm where she's telling Jean that it's not right that Christopher is asking her to keep this a secret. She says, and when Scott finds out, what then? And she tells Jean that she would hate her for it if she were in Scott's shoes. And Jean says it's just a risk she'll have to take. And that's like half a page worth of panels, but the drama that happens there.
The drama, you're right. It is very soap opera, but they are pulling it off in a beautiful way. Not but, and they are pulling it off in a beautiful way.
They sure are. I like the little character development that Wolverine wouldn't kill an animal, but he'll absolutely kill a human. And Fang. Storm is outraged at the idea of Logan hunting, but then Logan says, "Oh, everyone's misjudged me since I joined this turkey outfit." And it's this development of Logan's moral code that we're getting, and we'll see more of this in the next issue as well. We're starting to see that Logan isn't just like this aggressive killer. He kills for a reason and out of necessity. And I think that's really interesting. And maybe he respects animals more than he respects people. I think it's interesting to see.
I like that. I like that sentiment a lot. Okay, so, we've already talked about little sweet boy Peter when he was riding home to his parents. We have another really nice bonding moment between him and Storm.
By the lake.
By the lake. That finally isn't about him needlessly worrying about her safety. It's just a sweet little chat where Storm asks Peter about his homeland, and Peter just has the most beautiful things to say about it and how much he misses it. And we can see that Storm really connects with that. And it's just a really nice moment for them both. This was just such a nice little thing that their characters would have in common that they get to talk about.
I really like coming out of that little conversation too, that happens right before Vindicator. Weapon Alpha. He's not called Vindicator yet. Don't worry about it. Weapon Alpha and Wolverine come into the battle down where they are at the lake, and everybody just springs into it, and just one by one, we just get to see the different heroes who are there, their powers kind of all in one, in a clear, engaging way, one by one. And it makes me feel like this issue, because we've done so much time getting to know the characters, and now we're getting a little showcase of all these different powers. If you were picking up a random issue of X-Men off the newsstand in the 70s, this would be a really great issue to jump on with, because we're meeting the X-Men aside from all this high concept sci-fi that's been going on for a while.
That's so true. This really does feel like, if what we've read so far was like the first season, this feels like second season. They're having just like a little bit of a breather episode. They're catching you up on a little flashback of what happened. And we're getting just like the nice character development moments and a reminder of all their powers.
To put it in wrestling terms, this is like the Raw after WrestleMania.
I'll take your word for it.
The real heads will know. They'll know. Anyway, I loved Sean having his little tough guy moment in this battle too.
Yes, me too. Psycho Sean.
We've seen this development of Sean in the last few issues, that he's the guy who does what needs to be done without really caring about what the consequence is going to be to him. And the way he threw himself at the Crystal Guardian last issue, giving everything from his sonic scream.
Yes.
And then he does something very similar here, because he's set off by the fact that this energy blast has ricocheted off Colossus and hit Moira, sending him into this rage. The way he rushes at Hudson is just stellar for him. Banshee's getting a lot of great moments.
He is. And you're right. That is such a cool moment too, because first and foremost, he's over at Moira being like, oh no, babe. And when he realizes that she's still conscious, and then he just looks at Weapon Alpha and he's got this face.
That panel is incredible. That's something that I really think about when I was talking about John Byrne's faces before. Like, you could see the emotion in that panel.
That's right. Yeah, it's really coming through. And he unleashes another sonic scream that is just... I love how it's illustrated too, because it's like bigger and brighter and more destructive than we've seen in the past. And Jamie's just like, oh!
Last one, a very quick one. This is a good setup issue because we will actually see Alpha Flight later. So I just wanted to give credit to the fact that we have had something set up that will be paid off.
Yay! Oh, I'm still reeling from Dragonfly.
Oh! Here's a fun fact about that. And, nothing to do with this issue, but Cockrum had plans to make a team of all-female supervillains called the Furies. And with Cockrum leaving, it never came to fruition. So that's what that was setting up.
That's right. I do remember you telling me that. And what a waste.
And on the down of Shawnee not getting to see her favorite Dragonfly, let's get into the downs. There is a page in here that's sole purpose is to explain what happened in space after they came out of the crystal, but before they came back to Earth, right? I like the little conversation about Corsair in there. That's good. But this is what I was talking about last issue that I would have liked to see before they came back to Earth, so we didn't just rush from this grand climax into coming back through a portal. Mm-hmm. It's just in the wrong issue here. That's the down, because instead of wasting 2 pages on Peter Corbeau and Yellow Jacket, we could have put it in that issue. Instead, I needed to see my worst enemy, Peter Corbeau. I will die a Peter Corbeau hater.
It really should have been in the last issue, especially because we do, as you said, we get that reminder that Corsair continues his deadbeat dad career of not wanting anything to do with Scott.
But he loves him so much.
Oh, it's because he loves him so much that he can't have contact.
I love you so much, I'm going to go back into space. Jog on, you clown. Oh, what's your down?
Okay, so Scott is having a stroppy moment, bouncing from that, reveal that we were talking about, that Jean knows that Corsair is Scott's father. He's asked her not to talk about it. And so now Scott has some questions about Corsair. He's allowed to be a little upset because Jean's like not completely fooling him in. But how he's going about it, he's so stroppy. He's like, damn it, woman, I need you to talk to me. And then for a moment, he considers calling his brother, enemy of the pod, Alex Summers. Scotty,
Hate him.
you're going to call your dropkick brother to complain about your relationship issues instead of opening a supportive dialogue with your girlfriend who just saved the universe? She's dealing with a lot. You need to give her some space until she is ready to talk and be her emotional support until then.
Real. And also, I love that I have poisoned you against Alex.
I know, I'm partly in it for the gag now, but like, I don't know, he hasn't done anything for me recently.
That's it. And what's Alex know about women? Come
What's
on.
he know about women?
It took him this long to actually start dating Lorna, and like every straight couple, she is everything, and he's literally just a guy.
Poor Lorna. This is... okay.
She's not even in this issue, but that relationship's going nowhere. It's going to do nothing for her. Lorna's going to have a horrible life, and I adore her.
Oh, okay. Give me another one.
I got it down called James McDonald Hudson.
Tell me about Captain Canada.
Because he is nothing. He's a guy we know that Wolverine has a past with that we don't know anything about, at least not at this point. And it's like the powers they gave him are just generic superhero powers. Number one.
Yeah.
Flight, strength, and energy blasts. He's got this massive Canadian flag on his uniform that's so dumb that Sean calls him Captain Maple Leaf. And really, I hate any character that's like cop adjacent and is just following orders.
Yeah,
and that's what he's doing. He's out here to bring Logan back to the government, and that's another one that can jog on out of here.
This is technically in my X's, but this guy shows up having done no research. He's like, Colossus shows up in the battle and is like, whoa, what is this dude, Russian or something? And he's immediately trounced as soon as the other X-Men turn up. He prepared in no way for Wolverine to have backup in the house that he lives at with his superhero buddies. And God, it was in my X's because I do love the moment where even he acknowledges this. He's got the line, face it, hero, your mission's a total botch. I'm like, dude, yeah, these guys just fought 18 super-powered guards in space. Get your silly ass out of here.
Yeah, I like that in the battle, he hears, I think, Storm say, if you mess with one X-Men, you mess with all of the X-Men. And he's like, X-Men, huh? That's who Logan must be running with. I wonder who they are. As if, like, the X-Men haven't helped out the American government, like, a handful of issues ago. And surely they're in contact. Surely Department H has probably got word that, Logan, Wolverine, he was just down here raiding the facility at Valhalla. Thought you should know. Come pick up your boy.
That's so true. We even see, like, before Jamie is even revealed, what we see is his team, like, surveilling Wolverine on the property. So they're watching him. They don't know anything about any of the other X-Men.
He's really bad at his job, huh?
He is. Lucky he's out of here. And quick smart.
Any more downs?
Yeah, you touched on it a little bit. And I love the sentiment that Wolverine loves animals and hunting to him is this different thing that's challenging his abilities. But when he mentions that he wants to go hunting and Storm sort of like chastises him for wanting to take the life of an innocent animal for sport, and Wolverine says, I didn't say anything about killing. I was just going to sneak up and touch them. You know, that obvious thing that so many people do when they go hunting that Storm should have known. And then when she apologizes for misjudging him, he has the gall to say, you've all been misjudging me since the day I joined this turkey outfit. And it's like, my guy, since you joined this turkey outfit, you've been doing nothing but run your mouth about how much you love to get mad and slice stuff up. How on earth was Storm meant to take this in any other way?
I love how petty our downs are. That was beautiful.
They have to be. I love these issues. These are nothing but petty downs.
Slow clap. That was absolutely beautiful. And on that note, it's X time. Seanny,
Yeah, Beth.
when did the X-Men get changed? Did they not come straight from Jean's apartment, which was destroyed out of a Stargate? So they went out and bought some clothes just so they could hop in the car and come back to the mansion, which Logan has put the civilian clothes on top of Fang's uniform to be like, oh, I have to get out these alien threads. Bro, you had clothes. You had
this. This was my ex. Why is he still wearing the Fang costume? He's like, oh, I'm so itchy in this alien costume. He put clothes on top of this costume. He's got a shirt and jeans on. He's got like little loafer shoes on. Like, take the clothes off.
Can I give you a little fact about the Fang uniform?
Yeah.
Is that Cockrum had originally had Logan take that uniform, which was going to become Wolverine's costume going forward if Cockrum had stayed on.
I had a suspicion about this, but because what I know of Wolverine, and I've never seen him in that costume again, but like, I can sort of see that because it's got the teeth or like claws on it. It's like if Wolverine was gonna steal the clothes of any alien, it's pretty adjacent to his vibe.
Byrne immediately puts Logan back in his main costume, but in the not-so-distant future, he's actually going to change Logan into the yellow and brown color scheme that kind of matches that.
Yeah, okay. So was that an intentional thing to be like a nod to it?
I'm actually not sure. I'm gonna look into that.
I don't love the yellow and brown, but I have not experienced it in the comics. I've only seen it sort of just like out in the world. So I'll save my reservation for now.
I like it.
I think because I haven't experienced it yet, I just think of like the Hawthorn Football Club and...
Wrong crowd, girl.
The reason I don't like Hawthorn colours is because when we were in primary school and we used to have like lunchtime if they forced you to play like a game of footy, and I don't know if you had to wear the really itchy old jerseys that were like made of wool, but our school only had two colours, and one was the Blues and one was Hawthorn, and the Hawthorn ones were the itchiest. So I just have sense memories of wearing this bright yellow and brown woolen jersey in the heat of summer, running around having a terrible time.
Have I ever told you about how I used to do Oz Kick?
You've touched on it, but tell me what this story is.
This is for the pod audience, if they haven't heard it. For those of you who don't know, in Australia we have a sport called Australian Rules Football, or footy. And you could play for a local football club as a kid, but before that you can do Oz Kick, which is like, I guess, like Little League, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You learn the rules and what to do, and you're meant to stay in it until you're like, you know, a couple of years when you're like 8 or 9 and then join the footy team.
Yeah.
I was in Oz Kick until I was in year 5 because I was so bad at football and my parents really wanted me to be active, and it's like I wasn't going to cut it in like actual competitive football games against the team. And every year at the end of like your Oz Kick season, they let you go to like the MCG, the big footy ground in Melbourne, where you could play like a little demonstration match of your Oz Kick on the big oval, right? And your parents can watch you.
Yeah.
And little Beth is just there hanging on the goalpost and like spinning around tra-la-la-la-la on the MCG while the game is going on.
Oh my God, that's so cute. I love it. I love as well because we've got a lot of similarities. I too also did Oz Kick. I too must have stopped doing it at some point because I literally only have a memory of the first like session, but I too was just swinging around the goalpost for the entire time.
Gorgeous. Did you know that Weapon Alpha's suit is the ultimate product of Canadian technology?
Oh, indictment of Canada.
Oh, like, had me in absolute stitches for a good 5 minutes. The Canadians, we got to keep an eye on them. They're popping out some crazy stuff up there. And you know what I like? They're subtle about it. They certainly wouldn't put their flag, a massive maple leaf, right on the costume to show that this is property of Canada, eh?
Hey, they got stylish with it. It's sort of like tilted to the side.
I love Canada. I've seen every episode of Degrassi multiple times.
Yes, same. So we got to give them their laurels.
Wait for me and Fran to drop our Degrassi podcast with me, a teacher, and my wife, the clinical psychologist.
You're going to be giving us the inner school politics goss, and she's going to be giving us the psychoanalytical trauma that all the children are going through.
I hope you leave that mispronunciation in there. It was cute. Any more X's? I'm tapped.
Sean shows us he is perfectly capable of flying in his casual NYPD singlet during this last battle. Why he need that costume with wings attached to it?
Drip.
It's all for the drip. And that's why it's an X, because that's what I believe. He's like, I just really like bees.
I don't know, but I am here for it.
Yeah.
Just wait till we meet his daughter and she has the exact same outfit.
Oh, that's cute. Okay.
No collar, though. Her name's Siren.
Oh, Banshee and Siren. Okay, when a hero exists and then the next version of them like sort of does an offshoot and they've got a cool semi-adjacent name, I like that.
Well, I hope you're really excited to meet her, not in the pages of the X-Men, but in the pages of Spider-Woman that Claremont was writing at the time and was like, hey, let me cook with the Cassidys over here on Spider-Woman, thank you.
That's it. He's like, don't we all miss the Cassidys? And yeah, I do. And one of them's still here.
I love Sean Cassidy.
I'll agree with that. Even like seeing him get around in an NYPD singlet, I still love Sean Cassidy.
Are we ready for another issue?
Wow, we're through the first issue. That's wild. Let's have another one.
This issue is pretty bonkers. You're going to see that this was clearly not intended to happen here. And this is Claremont shoehorning it into the story that's going on. This will not be reprinted in classic X-Men, but there's some things that happen that might come up later. The artist on this issue, Terry de something. Shawnee will put it on the screen.
I will, right here. And our first up is that it's not John Byrne who's illustrating.
Well, the art of this issue was apparently so bad that Cockrum actually had to pass over these pencils to make it more fitting. So that's why it says with a special assist from Dave Cockrum.
It does.
Yeah. Wasn't
Sorry,
up to
Terry.
scratch.
Your one moment and you dropped the ball.
Wasn't cooking. I have some things to say about the art as we go down, and just the fact that it's like, it's a step down from like what we saw. But
It is,
I'm getting
yeah.
distracted. In X-Men 110, our heroes meet Warhawk, and he plans to slay them with their own danger room. We open on our heroes beginning an X-Men tradition. In the yard outside the mansion, they engage in a game of baseball.
Yay!
And powers are allowed.
Yes.
After Wolverine gets a little too hot-headed, Peter sits on him until he cools off. Scott calls for a break, which Wolverine is not too impressed with, and he watches from afar as Jean walks away hand in hand with our boy Slim. As the X-Men enjoy a picnic lunch together like one big happy family,
So cute.
Moira has to head back into the mansion as the man from the telephone company has arrived. In fact, the man from the telephone company has not arrived. It is actually Warhawk, posing as the telephone man, who shoots her with a tranquilizer dart. The Vietnam veteran and professional assassin Warhawk, with his organic metal skin stronger than steel, creeps into the mansion to complete his mission, sabotaging the danger room under the orders of a mysterious master. The X-Men, who have just entered the danger room for a training session, find themselves being attacked by their own equipment. Kurt teleports Wolverine with him to the outside of the danger room so they can shut down the room's primary power terminal. The strain of the teleport knocks them both out, and the X-Men continue to do battle against the Professor's traps. His very weird traps.
Very specific traps.
Eventually, Wolverine regains consciousness outside the danger room and tears apart all the circuitry with his claws, but he finds himself attacked from behind by Warhawk. As they battle, the remaining X-Men fight their way out of the danger room and best Warhawk. He is taken away by the local authorities as Jean declares to the X-Men that she has decided to rejoin the team permanently, as if saving the whole universe and getting the powers of a god wasn't enough. It took getting tranquilized by Warhawk. Charles warns them that whoever sent Warhawk had an incredibly detailed intel about the X-Men and their defenses. Wolverine does not see this as a problem. He declares that the X-Men ain't exactly pushovers, you know. If someone's out there to scrag the X-Men, he says let him try. And the whole team cheers.
Yay!
Nice. That was sick.
Thank you.
We've goofed around enough. Let's get straight into the ups. Baseball.
X-Men baseball!
This is an X-Men tradition, and it's going to be for a very long time, like to this day. And it's so much fun even here in its first appearance. We get a lot of insight into the X-Men's personalities as they play. Wolverine is as aggressive on the field as expected. Jean is not above using her powers to help field the ball. You know, not legal, but she's tempted.
Well,
I know she says it's for safety.
They smashed a window last time, but you know she loves doing it.
And Peter is ready for anything that Wolverine throws at him. Him sitting on Wolverine until he stops playing so aggressively is so funny.
Such a big brother move.
What's your first up?
It's X-Men baseball, of course.
Yes! Of course it is.
Like, whether you love or despise the Twilight movies, everyone can agree the baseball scene is peak. And you know what's better than vampire baseball? X-Men baseball.
I'm now imagining Supermassive Black Hole playing over the X-Men doing this as Wolverine pops his claws. Is that how it goes? Something like that.
I was a diehard Muse fan. You better believe that scene went a long way to me convincing me to like that movie.
I like that movie. I like Twilight.
You're a Twilight girly.
I'm a romance novel girly. Even if the romances are messed up. The more toxic, the better.
Yeah, honestly. Oh, I love that Wolverine is in his costume for this too. Everyone else is in their casual fun time gear. He's like, this is not a game. This is battle, and I'm dressing for battle.
Can I make one more joke about the romance novel thing?
Go.
They gotta keep my Kindle under lock and key. It's so toxic. It's quarantined. Sorry, back to the baseball.
That's it. I'm done. This scene is great. Again, it's just like a little fun little thing to show off their powers while showing off their characters.
So after the baseball game, we're starting to see the love triangle stuff properly here between Logan, Jean, and Scott. And at this point, it's actually quite fun. This team of like Scott and Jean and Logan, actually, they're not all going to be on the same team together for very long. So there's a limit to how much of this stuff we see. So this feels like the clearest depiction of it. That's not just Wolverine having like this little piney crush on her. He's like jonesing for her here.
He's jeansing.
And I love that Wolverine is coming off as such a loser with it.
Oh, boo. I hate it.
It shows how unrequited his feelings are. She's a typical man. She's just nice to him.
As polite to him as she is to all of her friends.
And he just takes it the wrong way. She's nice to him because he's a loser who's always in the corner by himself.
Oh my God.
And I like the scene where there's some weaponry in the danger room coming after Scott. And Logan muses to himself that, I could let it take Summers out. But when me and Cyclops face off, it's going to be face to face. And that's like, it's Wolverine's code, like we've been talking about, the loser code.
Yeah, that's it. In his mind, there will be a big altercation between him and Scott where they will fight, he will win, and Jean will say, I knew it should have been you all along.
Wolverine and Jean are not going to be a proper item until the Morrison era, which is after the movies come out, after the first movie comes out, at least,
Get it out of here. I don't care.
You're be an absolute loser, Logan.
Oh, they've got
Sucked in.
Move on.
I'd say Scott and Jean were endgame if I wasn't such a big Scammer shipper.
Scammer. Well,
Emma Frost is my everything.
She's your everything. I mean, she's you, and you can fix him.
It's true. I ordered some real nice Emma Frost variants last night. I was lying in bed after hormones practice, texting Seanny, being like, I gotta go to sleep, but I had just ordered some real nice Emma Frost variants.
I'm like, whoa, Beth is never up past 11:30. This is wild. What's she up to? Fine, Emma Frost.
Outing me as an EP girl. An EP girl who goes to bed at 9:30.
One of us has to be an EP girl. It's certainly not me.
I gotta read my books and go to sleep.
Aw, you gotta have healthy brain REM activity.
I gotta not have puffy eyes in the morning because I'm allergic to my eyelash glue.
Oh. Sean and Moira's lovebird relationship will be an up for me every time. And last issue, Sean was a bit of a cheeky horn dog planning a big smooch on his girl. But in this issue, we see the other dimension of his love when she's going to greet the phone repairman. And he wants her to hurry back. And the narrator text says, his words are soft, colored by his love of this woman he's known for but a few short months. I love that. It's just a beautiful soft romance sentence in the middle of an action comic book. And it describes our Sean perfectly.
I think there's a real testament to Claremont here that he's taken what's clearly a filler issue and he's really tried to fit it into the grander scheme of what he's doing and try to squeeze it into making sense at this point in the story and giving us character development in it. I think it's really well handled, even though it's a weird issue.
You are right, because I can't believe I didn't really think of this before, but we have a superpowered outsider breaking into the X-Men property who they dispatch of almost immediately in a one-on-one fight. These two issues are very similar to each other, but it does mean we've got a lot of downtime for character work, and that's what Claremont is taking advantage of.
Yeah, if I can just rattle off a couple of the cool things that I think Claremont does in this issue to develop these characters. Firstly, we're seeing Kurt's powers develop in real time because we had the first time he teleported with another person, with Lilandra, back in the fight outside the crystal, and now he's taken someone quite a bit bigger, Wolverine, and the strain knocks them both out. But, we're seeing that Kurt, he's a hero. He's willing to try. We see growth from Storm as well because she uses a positive affirmation when she's trapped in the box in the danger room saying to herself, I am not afraid.
She does. Character development.
I want to talk about the fight with Warhawk because, it's not great. Warhawk is a chump. But...
chump.
Just an absolute chump. Is created by Claremont for Iron Fist. He's writing Iron Fist at the time. So he's just using his own characters from the other comics.
Colossus was busy and not evil.
At the end of the fight, Warhawk goes for a gas bomb that's hanging from his belt and he can't find it. And Kurt has just snuck up behind him and stolen it. And he taunts him with it, saying, it looked so out of place on your belt, so in confusion, I appropriated it. Love the X-Men banter. And then Kurt tries to knock out Warhawk with a punch, but his skin is too strong. So then Colossus turns around and goes, I'll knock him out with a punch. The X-Men have a couple of signature moves. One is smashing through walls, and the other is definitely a nice punch to the jaw.
And that punch to the jaw knocks him down immediately.
Jean calls him a second-rate Colossus, so the first-rate Colossus let him have it.
That's it. And look, Colossus has been trying to punch things and being not very successful over the last few issues, so nice that he got a little one in there.
Colossus really doesn't get a lot of pops in, does he?
No, but speaking of that, when the X-Men are trapped in the danger room, their first impulse is, of course, what? To smash the walls down. And when Colossus can't, because of the technobabble barrier that's in place, Scott's whole plan revolves around teleporting Kurt and Wolverine out of the room and turning off the computer so that they can smash the wall down.
Yes! Love it. I've got some thoughts. I think this is enough with how Jean is developing here, where she officially decides to stay on the team. It is a bit silly, her going, I'm going to stay. Of course you're going to stay.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd sort of forgotten that you weren't on the team after these past few adventures.
You've been hanging around since, what, 98? I think.
Yeah, that's
like,
it.
Is that the airport issue?
True,
We'll check that, yeah. She's just been hanging around until now, but now she's a fully fledged member of the team. After her powers failed her, and a second-rate Colossus took her out. And I reckon this issue probably being written before she got the Phoenix powers is how Warhawk is so easily able to take her out.
Oh,
but
true.
The
Yeah.
explanation is kind of like that he's caught her off guard, right?
Yeah.
And so she wants better control of her powers. Scott knows that she has fear in her voice. So there's layers to what we're seeing with her. So part of it is born out of her previously being the weakest member of the X-Men, as her own lover boy said in the past. As if I still can't believe Scott said that when Angel exists. And now she's a bit addicted to being the most powerful, but she's worried she won't be able to do it all the time. So I like the development of like what's driving her to make her want to stay. And she's got this fear as well of not really understanding her own powers and what that might mean for her own survival in the long run. So I like that there's a lot of different strings to pull on here with Jean. And there are some moments of this issue that do not make sense, which, are you out of ups?
I have one more. I touched on it already, but it's such a fun, cheesy ending to this issue. Like, Charles senses great and powerful forces gathering to take out the X-Men, and Logan has his little spiel about, you know, let them try, they'll find us waiting for them. And the whole team's behind him, just in the perfect, like, freeze frame celebratory pose.
This is in my X's, because the X-Men just fought within an inch of their lives from the sabotage danger room, facing a villain who knows more about them than anyone should. They are a secret organization, right? I expect Wolverine to be boasting that they're not pushovers and no one can get to them. But the whole team in the last panel is cheering. This is really weird. Gang, stop flexing for a minute and realize you are in serious danger. Let's get down. The opening text says that it's Moira's last day in New York. So she's leaving to go back to Muir Island. But she still had to book a guy from the telephone company to come here on her last day before she leaves town. Guys, stop taking this renowned genetic scientist for granted.
Doing your busy work.
Give her a day off while you all play baseball. She's not in the game. So we're going to celebrate Moira's last day by us playing baseball and having a picnic and making her get telephones connected. Why do you need telephones?
What?
You have video screens that can speak to the Avengers. Does the mansion have a phone line?
Of course it does, because we saw Kurt calling Amanda. You know what? I think that's the only phone that exists in the whole mansion. And Kurt made a point of like, I gotta call my date. I need this phone fixed. I know it's the only one, but I'm a
and
romantic.
I did get his call.
Yeah, you got it.
That's a callback.
That is. You are Amanda. Did you have a nice date?
I'll never tell.
We forgot to say it, but I love that it's a little pink phone as well. Prior to reading the X-Men, I had never heard the term frail to refer to a woman before. And I'm going to need Logan to stop saying it because it makes my skin crawl every time. Besides,
Sabretooth is notorious for that one. When Sabretooth pops up, that's his whole thing. And I don't think Logan does it anymore, but Sabretooth definitely still does it.
both the frails on this team could stomp anybody.
Right? Like, you have two women on the team, and they both have the power of gods.
They are the most powerful.
What do they got? Ooh, I got blasty eyes. Ooh, I got scratchy claws. Like, Storm and Jean could rewrite the entire universe if they wanted.
The X-Men only needs to be Storm and Jean.
Like all straight couples, they are literally everything, and the rest of X-Men are just a bunch of guys. Now that's a callback.
That's it.
I know I said I liked Wolverine's crush here. But oh my god, him asking her out on a date to go to the bar with him is so stupid. Men are clueless. Bro, my brother in Christ, she does not want to go to a smelly bar that's dank and full of criminals with you to play pool and drink beer. She lives in trendy Greenwich Village and has a hot young boyfriend in a leadership position. He's getting the biggest X-Men paycheck. And what I do like is that Scott's like, well, I hate to spoil your afternoon, Wolverine, but you'll have to take a rain check. The X-Men have a date with the Danger Room. And my man Slim is willing to ruin everybody's day just to ruin Wolverine's day. And you know what? I'm not hating enough. This is like 50 Cent levels of hate. Being 50 Cent buying out the first 4 rows of Ja Rule's concert. Oh, what's your next one?
When they're trapped in the Danger Room and Cyclops tells Kurt to teleport out and take Wolverine with him, I know this makes sense from a strategic standpoint. But leave my boy alone! Last time he tried this, it nearly killed him, and you were there, Scott, so you saw it. He even has the comment that when Kurt bamfs out, Cyclops can hear him screaming. But of course, our beautiful sweet boy Kurt does it immediately without arguing because he's like, I have to protect my friends. It might kill us both, but I gotta try.
He's a hero.
He is a hero. He would put his own life before his friends' lives, and he does it constantly.
We have this fake communication breakdown between Scott and Jean due to her new powers.
Yeah.
I'm a romance novel girly. Mm-hmm. I'm here for the melodrama. With everything else that goes on around them, this is one of the few aspects of the Phoenix storyline that I cannot sit with. Because Scott's saying repeatedly, she won't talk to me anymore. And Jean's saying repeatedly, I just freeze up when I try to talk to Scott. Fake drama. Jean is using her telepathy to submit images of her getting tranquilized to Scott. Calls on him immediately when there's a problem. I don't buy it.
Nah, I agree. This was my exact last down as well. I need Scott to get over his in this regard too. He drops the, blast it woman again. I just want to help you. We need to dial back the misogynistic angle here.
Therapy wasn't normalized in the 70s, huh?
No, me acting as if Scott isn't constantly dealing with his own emotional compromises every single day.
It's called emotional over control. And Scott has it, and I used to have it, but I got better.
This is why you can fix Scott.
Chuck, You sick freak. Why do you want a giant robot that shoots glue at the X-Men? This is not a real thing that you have to prepare them for when they're fighting villains in the outside world. So I'm thinking, this is a you problem. And it's so funny that Peter calls it some sort of paste. It sticks to me like glue. It's glue, brother.
It's glue. You're covered in glue. Charles has gotten just too creative with these wacky contraptions that exist in this room. He's got a box that encases Storm because he knows she suffers from claustrophobia. He's got anti-sound baffles to make Banshee fall out of the air because it's the only way that he can fly, except when he's wearing his NYPD shirt. And this giant robot that shoots glue because he's like, this is the only way that I can take down Colossus.
It's just like, it's like they exist only so maybe the Danger Room can get hacked and kill the X-Men one day. Not the first or last time the Danger Room will try to kill the X-Men. Or maybe it's the first, but it's certainly not the last. Warhawk has been sent undercover to the mansion to get intel on the X-Men, right? Wolverine is fighting him and says, I like to know who I'm up against. And Warhawk just tells him his name. Broski, you are undercover. I know your masters told you to test the limits of their abilities. He was always going to fight them. But you don't need to tell them your name. People in comics don't realize that they can just not say things. That is also something Beth needs to realize. But I got a podcast.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. He is showing up in his branded superhero outfit, dropping his name. Like, as far as he was considering this plan was going to go, they were never going to really see his face. He just wanted to tranquilize them all and then test them and then bring some information back. He's like, no, I got to put my big, weird, woolly jumper on.
Yeah, was that under the Telephone Man uniform, do you think?
I guess. It's so hot. Stop.
And it's a warm day outside.
It's a warm day out. They're in their shorts playing baseball.
You can tell this is a fill-in artist. This is my last down. You can tell this is a fill-in artist because when the X-Men are in civilian clothes at the end of the issue, they are not dripped out.
No.
Just the most generic fits you ever seen.
Yeah.
And we got Slim in a turtleneck, but no swag.
You're not going to even put him in one that was in a previous issue?
What's the opposite of drip? Like a functional tap with firm washers? That's where we're at. On that note, it's time to get weird with the X's.
Yes.
Wolverine disables the computer outside the Danger Room. There are 4 X-Men remaining inside the Danger Room. Storm, Banshee, Cyclops, and Colossus. When Warhawk throws Wolverine into the door, he gets burned because the X-Men are, quote, busting loose, end quote. The door starts glowing red hot and then white hot. And my question is, from who? The Sonic Scream can't do that. That's not from Colossus punching. Cyclops' eye beams do not generate heat.
Need we say it again?
That leaves me thinking that the only possible explanation is that Storm is like stirring up a lightning storm in there, blasting lightning all around the room till this door heats up enough to pop open. But realistically, it is probably Cyclops' eye beams. But technically speaking, if he did it for long enough, he could generate enough friction to create heat, and then we could get through the door. This is one of my dumbest X's ever.
Warhawk has his little tranquilizer gun pointed at Wolverine and says, those claws aren't going to be much use against my weapon. And Wolverine immediately swipes the dart out of the air.
So good.
It's so funny.
It's like, what is your little tranquilizer dart going to do really if, like, people can see you? You know, the only reason you took down Chuck and Jean is because you were like, you caught them coming around a corner.
Yeah. That's
right. It's like when you're in the workplace and you're like, you know, you both come around a corner at the same time and you and your colleague are like, oh, sorry, didn't see you.
Whoa.
And it happens every time.
And then you have to tranquilize them to avoid the embarrassment that you've just created.
That's what Warhawk's doing here.
It is so jarring to see an X-Men story end with the cops showing up and taking
I have a lot.
away,
This is my ex. I got a lot to say.
and taking away the bad mutant in handcuffs. Like I guess it makes sense. But I always just imagine that when the X-Men encounter a bad guy, they get taken to Moira's facility. But this one, calling up the cops on their now working phones. I guess he literally did fix their phone lines while he was there, so that's nice. And being like, yo, a burglar just broke in. Yeah, it's us, the X-Men. Because when the captain shows up too, Captain Delaney.
At the end of this issue, right, the police captain, Captain Delaney, says he never gets a straight answer out of the X-Men. He'll be seeing them. Charles explains that the school has a reputation and he never gives Delaney an answer that he likes. This implies that Delaney is a recurring character or something. I assure you he is not. He has never been seen before this issue. So we have never seen Charles call Captain Delaney or give him an excuse before. He also never will call Captain Delaney again to give an excuse. There will be no future appearances and there are no past appearances of Captain Delaney. So what was the point of this dialogue? We are acting like the X-Men have this recurring relationship with this cop. You know, like Commissioner Gordon, every time he turns around, Batman disappears.
Yeah.
Like, no. Does not exist.
Sorry, Cap.
It's a goofy ending. And then it leads into that ridiculous scene of Wolverine boasted and the rest of the X-Men being like, hell yeah,
Yay.
X-Men for life.
Yeah. And Beth, we always have classy endings to our podcast, but just this once, I think we should indulge and have a cheesy ending of our own. Because you know what? There's a lot of pods out there. And there's a lot of people coming for us, but they better bring it because we're ready for them.
Yeah! Thank you, everybody. We have been the X-Men. We will see you next time where we're reading X-Men, I want to say 111 through 113. I should have checked my notes, but I've already turned the screen off on my iPad and I'm real sleepy because it's 9:27 and I'm meant to be in bed because Seanny has outed me as not staying up late. We are the X-Men, the next stage in human evolution. 2 trans women exploring the X-Men, signing off. Mwah! We are just getting more and more insane on the pod, aren't we?
By episode 500, we're just going to be babbling in a language that we've completely invented ourselves, but both of us somehow understand.
Have you... Are
you speaking the language now?
I didn't mean to.